Hi guys, I just wanted to speak to you today about if you have ever felt as though no matter how hard you work, nobody notices. It feels as though you're living your life according to somebody else's rules rather than your own. And all of this can just make you feel so exhausted. You feel like you tick all the boxes, you've got the job, the house, the achievements, but inside you just don't feel as though you're really achieving anything. And it's that constant push for external validation, external approval, maybe chasing money or success. And overall, it just doesn't actually fulfill you. I'm talking about this because I know I have been there and I know how draining it is. So this is exactly what I want to talk to you about today. So I want to show you how you can master your life and build the business that really serves you, that is completely yours on your terms, aligned with your own values, not society's expectations. Society has never been more broken. Our corporations and government have never been so corrupt. So the fact that we're still trying to follow this path because we're told this is what we're supposed to do doesn't make any sense now more than ever. If you keep building your life according to somebody else's blueprint, you're just never ever going to feel like you're at home or that you've ever achieved anything meaningful. So, in order for this to matter to other people, you have to matter to yourself first. And this seems really impossible when every waking minute is really spent cooking, cleaning, working, parenting. How do you find a minute for yourself? You might be dealing with toxic family members, you might be studying, you might be developing yourself. But I can tell you now, if you don't start taking those small steps towards including yourself in your life, you are going to get sick and you are going to be forced to make yourself matter because the universe will step in and do it for you. And I know this from a very, very hard and difficult learnt experience. I've burnt out many times. I have had many dark night of the souls. And what I know is you can actually make these changes before it gets to that point. You don't need to let it get to that point before you can start including yourself in your own life. So I've got 3 steps and I'm going to run you through them. Step 1, stop chasing external validation. I really struggled with this one because I'm a bit of a rebel. I don't really care for doing what people tell me to do. I don't follow any of the rules. However, what I came to realise was I was still chasing external validation. You have to stop letting other people, define your worth. And so many of us get stuck into this trap of chasing promotions or chasing praise or chasing likes that we get on social media. And we think that if someone else approves of me, then I'll be enough. But this is the problem. Success is never really measured by anybody else's standards, because if it was, that promotion would have landed for longer than 30 seconds before you move on to the next thing, because that's always what we do. You've got to measure your own success by your own standards, and not being able to do this usually comes from having extremely critical parents or feeling as though you were never really good enough for unconditional love, so you had to perform in order to be accepted. And these patterns really carry on throughout all of our adult life. So let me ask you, how many times have you hit a milestone and felt proud for a brief moment, but then you just immediately think, what's next? This is when you are on the external hamster wheel of validation. You're looking outside of yourself for validation, which is why you can never go back inwards and really, really praise yourself. It's just not a pattern that's ever been wired into your nervous system from childhood, and we just continue it as we get older. So I'm going to give you a few things to be able to rewire this. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Not my parents, not my peers, not my kids, not social media, just me. And I know that sounds quite simple, but it's really a radical act, because my cat's here. Once you know your answer, it really means that you can stop performing and you start living from a whole different level of depth. So for me, mine was trauma. I know that sounds insane, but I became obsessed with overcoming trauma. And the more obsessed I became with human behaviour, the more obsessed I became with the whole thing, and it helped my work. I can create really incredible high performing websites and landing pages for my clients because I deeply understand human behaviour and what makes people tick and what makes people buy. However, it was like I was running this secret double life. There was this life that my friends and my family and my healer friends knew of me, but professionally I wasn't showing any of that part of myself. I was only showing Sonia the business consultant, Sonia the marketer, because that's what my career had been. So is it any wonder, and going back to my other video that I did, is it any wonder that we burn out when we are only showing 10% of who we are? We're suppressing 90% of ourselves all the time, or we're running our life in two different split streams. When is it any wonder that we burn out from this? No. So coming into alignment really means tapping into what we geek out on and who we actually are. Not pushing it outside of our career, but actually integrating all of it in. And this is when you start seeing the golden thread throughout your life. And this is when you can start really having a purpose behind your work. And what you'll find is when you start talking about this side of yourself, it naturally comes across as passionate. And you will connect with other amazing people who are walking the same path as you. So you end up building, just by default, a really supportive network, really supportive partnerships, and you also get really amazing clients because they align to you over everybody else. So the people who believe in you and pay your bills are going to be complete strangers. They are not family, they are not friends, they are somebody that you don't know right now. So the level that you are communicating in right now is going to attract a certain level of person. So when you fully align to yourself and you start speaking from your truth, these strangers who are going to be the ones paying your bills ultimately, you're going to start aligning on a whole new level, and these people will start coming in when you start speaking authentically about yourself. So this brings me on to step 2, which is build your mastery and your collaboration. I'm a one-woman army. I've built everything by myself. That comes from being massively abandoned as a child, and I just got so used to doing everything on my own, bringing my son up on my own. It was habit to me to just carry everything and spin all of the plates. And so many people fall into this trap, believing that they can't rely on anyone and they have to figure it out alone. But actually, this is a massive clue as to the point I just made. You're not attracting the right types of people. If you can't rely on, or if you can't speak openly to your network and your people that are around you, you're not aligning with the right types of people, which show you that you're not giving off the right types of energy. I'll give you an example. I've got a WhatsApp group, and probably they came to me just from social media. It was actually a LinkedIn post that went viral. There's 31 people in there. Hi ladies, if you're watching. And there's so many people who not only ran away from home at 16, but also had toxic families, got out of abusive relationships, brought up their children on their own. So the massively high percentage of people that came into my WhatsApp group are all similar to me. They all have a background the same as me, and we have been able to share, help each other, send each other resources, because we're all walking the same path. And that only came from speaking my truth and attracting people that align to that because they're similar to me too. So to do this, you don't need more knowledge. You don't need to go on another course. You don't need to know more stuff. You already know everything you need to know. You've probably had 30, 40, 50 years of life experience by now. You do not need another course which puts in more information. What you need is to uncover what's already in there. I remember Jan, my surrogate mum who healed me through, and I trained with hypnotherapy one-to-one in my cellular healing knowledge with her, and she always used to say to me, you're a diamond, it's just life throws shit over the top of it. You just have to keep wiping the shit off until you get to the diamond. And she is right. You're already everything you need to be. It's just that society's expectations, negative comments, all of our belief systems, all of those things are covering over that sparkly diamond that you're meant to be. So when building your business, you can spend so much time reinventing the wheel. You can spend so much time doing everything yourself. You can spend so much time looking for more courses to teach you more stuff. But the truth is that stuff isn't going to come out if you're not aligning to yourself and you're not speaking openly about your truth. So real progress will come when you seek out the mentors and you learn from the people who have already done this. They've already walked the path. They have already healed themselves from the things that they need to heal from. They have already built the business which is aligned to their life, not success from pushing, but success from alignment. And these are the people that you would share your values with. And you'll know here, this is not about competition, it is about collaboration, and it is owning your voice. It's about creating something which is bigger than yourself. It is staying true to who you are. And the more that you practice this, the more confident you will become in your own voice and your own value. And this is self-mastery. So once you've stopped chasing approval and you've started building your self-mastery, there's one more piece, which is step 3, and that is rewriting success on your terms. I say to my clients all the time, success is subjective. It is not the same for everybody. One person's success might be waking up in the morning whenever they want to. One person's success might be picking their kids up from school. One person's version of success might be working from the beach. Nobody looks at this and goes, I want to slog 9 to 5 and not see my family and earn £1 million a year. That's not success to everybody. However, when you go on social media, this is quite often what we're told. So the third step is redefining wealth and security and what that means to you. We're often told the same story, the big house, the 9 to 5, the pension plan. And if that's what you want, that is great. You can build that. But a lot of us, that might feel like a cage. I know to me, working 9 to 5 feels like a cage. So I want to ask you, if nobody was looking and you could build anything that you want to, what would abundance look like to you if it was truly yours? And an exercise that I often do with my clients is to get a year's planner. And we plan in all of the school holidays. If you've got kids, there is no point in believing that you can make your money through the 6-week holiday. You can't. So we completely factor that out. And however many weeks you have got left in that year, that's what we boil your salary down to and how much you have to earn week by week, taking out these weeks that your kids are on holiday. So it's building the life and building the salary, and it's building the impact around your life and how it's set up, not pushing through the 6-week holiday, getting stressed about the kids. It just doesn't work. You've got to flip it and reverse engineer it the other way. So maybe it's freedom to build your own schedule, maybe it's flexibility, maybe it's doing work that feeds your soul, because once you start doing this, your bank account will reflect that. So just remember, your version of success doesn't have to look like anybody else's. And the minute you start allowing yourself to redefine what success looks like, that's when life really opens up. And this is your blueprint. You get to write this. Nobody else, no society, know what your parents think, know what your colleagues think. It needs to be what you think. So if this resonated, I would love it if you could subscribe. And if you want to, drop a comment on what came up for you. I'm happy to make some other videos and help you through all of these things. So I'll be back soon with more videos on how to master yourself from my self-mastery series in how to lead yourself, master your health and grow your wealth. Bye.